Hello lads, how are you well? Today, more than anything, I wanted to do a bit more of a life update video. I haven't done one of these in a few weeks. I know sort of a little while back I decided I was going to sort of move away from this sort of stuff. Not move away from it, but do it certainly less than I was before. Sort of before, every Monday was more of a vlog, life update video, and I didn't, not that I don't enjoy making them, but I found them sort of quite difficult to make because, I mean, I'm happy with how my life is, but I don't live a sort of action-packed life week on week where there's loads and loads of things to talk about. Certainly not things that are sort of worthy of a YouTube video individually. I'm going to try and keep these more to sort of every couple of weeks or whatever, and run through sort of what's on my mind and what I'm sort of planning for the future, I guess. The reason this has come up for me is because in 2 weeks or so already, I'm going to pretty much be moving back to uni, and it's quite frightening because feels like, first of all, it feels like 5 minutes ago that I finished for the year, but also I remember sitting literally in this spot this time last year filming the video last summer about going back to uni, and yeah, it's quite frightening how quickly that time's passed, and the fact that this summer's already gone. And next week I sort of want to do a little roundup of summer of how I've found things and what's been going on with me, because I haven't had a bad summer by any means, but I think I've talked about it before on the channel. Piss poor preparation leads to piss poor performance. I think I got a little bit ahead of myself when the Marbella holiday happened, and I was like, oh lovely, summer's going to be like this, and it was actually, thinking about it, that holiday took about 2 years of planning. So if yeah, and I certainly didn't plan the rest of my summer sort of as well as I wanted to, but that's for next week's video. I sort of wanted to round up sort of where I'm at the moment, and might be things that you guys are feeling as well. I've mentioned it again before on the channel, that the change in weather hits me quite a lot, not sort of emotionally, but actually physically, a little bit emotionally, in terms of I get a bit moody sometimes when it goes from hot to raining to hot again. You guys know, yeah, this road isn't always great when you're trying to film, whatever. But yeah, yeah, I'd get more physically, actually. I just feel absolutely exhausted quite often when the weather changes, and I sort of notice it first thing in the morning. I don't know if it's sort of the pressure or whatever. My dad gets it really badly, sort of. Mine's actually not as bad as his, but sort of sinuses, like just, well, it's not a headache, but just sort of like, you know, where you barely open your eyes just because sort of head feels like it's been crushed by something. I get that really badly, but yeah, so that might be something that other people share. But the last few weeks, just like, yeah, I've just felt my strength go down in the gym, like seriously, quite a lot. And I've spoken to a few other people who've said they felt pretty rough. So I sort of just wanted to, rather than try and do sort of video on a particular topic or anything like that, I just sort of wanted to do more of an update. So speaking of updates, something that I've brought back is this guy. You guys know that I sort of do my daily planning of lists and stuff like that, but I've actually, something that I've noticed, which I always sort of make little tweaks to not only my channel but sort of the process of filming and everything like that, and something that's been a real bane with me for ages is I script these videos to a certain extent, in terms of I normally write out sort of what I'm going to talk about and maybe some bullet points, but I do it all on my laptop, which is fine, but I don't take my laptop out when I film. So it's all well and good to sort of have a read before I go, but when I'm sort of out and about, like sat here, when I go on my walk, I haven't got my laptop with me. So I sort of try and stick to the sort of topics of the video and everything like that. But yeah, it's really difficult when I don't sort of have my notes and bullet points and everything like that in front of me. So I gave up filming out on the road. It was just a nightmare. It started raining a little bit as well, but I don't know why. There were just so many, well, it's a road, that's why, but there were so many cars coming past in the end. And I don't know if there was a party going on over the road, but there was, all the cars were literally stopping opposite the camera. I'm not even sure, I'm going straight into this, I'm not even sure the footage from the road will make it, because I was barely getting words out. I was so distracted by everything. But yeah, what I wanted to sort of talk about and go over, yeah, a little life update, and sort of talking about, I guess, as I said, next week I want to sort of do a proper sort of summer reflection and everything like that, but I more wanted to talk about what I was doing in terms of, not necessarily aims and things like that. Again, I'll sort of cover that, but maybe some things that I feel like got a bit wrong, or things like that, and how I've used my time over sort of the last couple of weeks. Not to sort of jump off on too much of a tangent, because I know sort of what I was discussing before I walked home was more about in terms of how I was feeling and everything like that. And yeah, the last couple of weeks I've had quite a serious lack of energy. I've lost, most notably, I've lost so much strength in the gym, and it's not like I'm sort of cutting, it's not like I've slowed down or anything like that, but yeah, the weights have gone down really quite a lot the last couple of weeks, which is weird. I haven't really sort of had that. Went for a cycle on Saturday and felt really good. So weirdly enough, the cardio side of things I've been doing, I've been feeling a lot more energized, but the weightlifting's just sort of completely gone out the window, which to me maybe says I'm really not sleeping enough. And I've talked about it before, but I haven't been brilliant with my sleep for quite a while. I spend too much time on my phone. I don't stay up sort of super late. I normally do get sort of 7.5 hours, but I never really hit that sort of sweet spot of 8 or even more. And obviously, like, some people need different things, and I really am a nightmare if I get less than 8 hours sleep. I do really notice it. So yeah, I think something else I was talking about before I came home was I've got it here as well, book that I've sort of, yeah, I don't really sort of, I script these videos to an extent, but in terms of I try and make bullet points about roughly what I want to talk about. But like I was saying, I do it all on my computer, and I'm not going to carry my computer out with me, so I can remember what I've written to the best of my abilities. But it's very often that when I'm editing a video or when I finish filming, I sort of go, oh crap, I forgot to put that together. Yeah, no, it's a shame. I wanted to film outside actually, but it started pouring with rain. But yeah, no, in terms of sort of an update overall, I want to sort of try and get ahead of things. I feel like I've sort of been chasing things. I've been recording these videos sort of very close to when they have to be out, and that's why I hope they haven't seemed rushed. But to be honest, in a way they sort of have been. Like, I want to. Again, it sort of came up for me earlier. My boss asked if I could extend my contract another week in the job I'm doing at the moment, and before I probably would have said yes and just sort of worked, but I think it's just not a good idea. It just gives me that sort of time to take off, and that is the week that I'm maybe hoping to go on holiday if things aren't too expensive. And I don't want to sort of move into uni feeling like I haven't even sort of sorted out things at home, and that was what sort of happened last year, because I didn't even stop work. I was literally sort of on my laptop working as I was moving into my uni house, which isn't what I want this year. And yeah, it's not ideal, obviously, not having sort of a stream of income, but I'll figure it out and I'll find something new when I'm in Canterbury. But I think just for sort of my sanity, I'm gonna have to, yeah, just take those couple of weeks out to get myself back to normal. On massive plus side, football's back as well, which is obviously brilliant, but I do forget quite how much of weekends it takes up. Not a complaint, obviously it's something I do by choice, but yeah, obviously once it kicks off at 12:30 on a Saturday, it doesn't sort of really stop till 7 o'clock on Sunday the next day. So if I'm sat in front of the TV watching the football, I sort of lose 5 hours of each day. So yeah, I've got to start taking that a little bit more into account, and I think another couple of weeks and Quins will be back. Obviously I won't be going as much because I don't really want to have to drive up from Canterbury all the time with these petrol prices, but yeah, I'll be going as much as I can, and that's again things I've got to start planning for. So that's why, as much as my sort of to-do list is good, I think I've actually got to sort of start planning. Seems like an obvious thing to do, but rather than just sort of writing a to-do list every morning, if I know I've got to do something on a particular day, I'll actually write it on that day before, sort of in the future, so when the day comes, because quite often what happens is I'll remember something, but it wasn't for the day I remembered it on, and then I won't write it down, and then on the day it's actually meant to happen, it doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm going to sort of focus a lot more on planning forward rather than just sort of doing sort of to-do lists for the day that I'm on. I guess to sort of bring it all round, this video more than anything is about wasting time, because as I said, look, I'll do a proper video on summer next week, but I do feel like I've wasted time. I may have set sort of my expectations a little bit high in terms of what I thought summer was gonna be like, being back home, but considering it's not like I've been back 2 weeks, I've been back 3 months, and there's a lot of people that I wanted to catch up with that I haven't. There's a lot of things that I was meant to do that I haven't. Silly things like the place I get my car cleaned is here, so I only ever get it cleaned at home. I've been home for 3 months and I haven't got my car cleaned. I've needed to pick up doctor's results for a blood test I had in December, and I struggled to pick it up when I'm in Canterbury because it's here. I've been home for 3 months and I haven't done it. And again, that's just about planning and making notes and taking things down. So yeah, that's sort of, if there's a call to action or something like that, if there's a takeaway from this, it would be, if you feel like you're not being productive, change it, because you don't get time back. And yeah, I'd love to say, oh, I'd love to rewind the clock to start of June and do it all again, but I can't, so it's a ridiculous thing to say, but also the way I've been living at the moment, I don't think anything would be any different. It's not like I just forgot about things. It's just it's been a complete lack of planning, especially on the social side of things. I've missed a lot of things that I wanted to go to just because I was very lucky with Wimbledon, to be honest. I was very lucky that I managed to get into Wimbledon. That was literally turning up and hoping there were tickets left, and lucky there were. But again, that was something that I didn't plan and book ahead for. So yeah, if you're feeling like you're not sort of getting as much out of your time as you should be, if you're not accomplishing tasks in the time that you want to get them done, time management, writing, like you can have your notes in your phone or whatever, or a digital calendar. For me, nothing will ever beat writing things down. That goes for appointments, that goes for to-do lists, that goes for your thoughts. Obviously I do journal sometimes, but I'm quite lucky that I've got this. To be honest, I get to sit and talk absolute shit to a camera for half an hour each week, which a lot of people don't have. So yeah, I don't journal as much, but even so, when I do write things down, that does really help. But look, I don't want to go in circles. I think I've made the point as best as I ever do make the points in these videos. Thank you for sitting through my ramble. As always, if you do find any of it useful or find me entertaining, please do consider liking, subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care, lads.